our Milky Way descendants. As of now, beacons confirming arrival in Helios remain unanswered. This is HNS.
Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How is everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we are going to be tackling another game this time, and that is Mass Effect 3. So, I know it's been many years since the whole Mass Effect 3 ending controversy, but we're going to recap on that before we get into the nitty-gritty details. So, at the end of Mass Effect 3, there were basically three main endings to the game: Destroy, Control, and Synthesis. The original endings basically only varied in color, which was one of the main criticisms of the Mass Effect 3 endings. Basically, they're all like mostly the same. But the extended cut actually expanded on it a little bit, and they even added a new ending as well, the Do Nothing ending, which we'll get to in a bit. But the endings are basically, for the Destroy ending, it's obviously where you destroy the Reapers and they all die, and supposedly everyone lives happily ever after. But the mass relays are extremely damaged and virtually destroyed in certain versions of the extended cut ending. And then there's the Control ending, where you take control of the Reapers and you use them to rebuild the mass relay and fix everything that they destroyed. And then the last one is the Synthesis ending, where you basically, I still don't really know how to describe it, but you basically like combine like machines and organics into like one single life form, and it like unites everyone, and the Reapers become friendly towards you because you're now part machine. But basically all these endings result in the Reapers leaving everybody alone, or at least no longer harming everybody. And some of them involve the mass relays being destroyed, and others just have them severely damaging the mass relays. And depending on the ending, the mass relays could be repairable. But, you know, these are all different endings depending on what actions you do during the game and the choices you make at the end. There was never any official canon ending confirmed by the developers. And when Mass Effect Andromeda came out, they still did not directly confirm any canon ending. The game only like starts between Mass Effect 2 and 3. So the people in Andromeda, they don't know anything about what happened after that point. However, like I said earlier, in the extended cut ending, there was a new ending added, a fourth ending, where if you do nothing or you reject the offer of that on the Crucible, you lose. Everybody loses. The Reapers win. They wipe out all life, and Liara manages to leave a message, sort of like a time capsule, telling the next generation of species, the next cycle of species, what happened, and maybe giving them like hints at how they might be able to defeat the Reapers this time around. But like I said, no canon ending was officially revealed. Until the other day when I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I actually put off finishing Mass Effect Andromeda for quite a while, and I decided to pick it up just the other day again. And just to recap at how Mass Effect Andromeda works, or what it is, it takes place like over 600 years later in the Andromeda galaxy. During events of Mass Effect 2, between 2 and 3 actually, the Citadel species, they send a huge like colonization effort towards the Andromeda galaxy in order to obviously colonize planets in the Andromeda galaxy. And one of the secret motives behind it was to make sure that in the event the Milky Way species got wiped out by the Reapers, their species would continue on in the Andromeda galaxy. So here we are on the Nexus. There's these tram cars they can use on the Nexus, and every time you use them, actually I want to point out first that when I use the game DVR to record, it glitches out during this part. It doesn't show the whole animation of the tram car, but you still hear the audio going on. The audio here is like a news announcement, little newsreel from HNS, Helios News Service, and it'll give you like updates about what's going on and everything and stuff like that. The news updates it gives you are usually random, or if it's like right after a mission you just did, something like big, the newsreel will basically cover what you just did during that mission, as well as other things going around throughout the Helios cluster. But the overall, if you finish most of the quests, then at this point the news announcements just become random, and some of them might even like repeat over and over again. But there is actually one particular one that's actually, I only managed to get it once, but it was very interesting, and I think it somewhat at least hints at one of the canon endings to Mass Effect 3. So let's take a listen to it now, and I'll be back after to discuss it.
Authorities continue work to establish contact with our Milky Way descendants. As of now, beacons confirming arrival in Helios remain unanswered. This is HNS.
Alright, so as you just heard there, the initiative, the people basically running the whole Andromeda colonization effort, they've been trying to make contact, establish contact with their Milky Way descendants, and they're not getting any responses. And from the sounds of it, they've been trying for quite a bit. They've tried several times, and they're still trying again to establish contact, but they're not getting any response at all, which is very concerning, because they should have gotten a response by now. I know Andromeda is very far from the Milky Way galaxy. I believe it's, I looked it up, it's like 2.4 million light years away. So sending like a simple radio signal would take 2.54 million years for a radio signal to reach the Milky Way from Andromeda. However, obviously, you know, the fact that they're expecting a response already, the initiative's only been there for like a few years. The fact that they're expecting a response already basically confirms that they have some means of faster than light communications. And I looked through Mass Effect lore. I'm not like a lore expert, but they do have the technology to achieve faster than light communications. There's many different ways, but the one that's most they have like communication buoys throughout the Milky Way attached to mass relays, which lets them do near instantaneous communications around the network. But since they don't have mass relays in the Andromeda galaxy, they would have to use a different communication technology called quantum entanglement, which actually is a real thing. Basically, two quantum particles are entangled. Now, I'm not a physicist, so you know this may not be 100% accurate. But two particles, when they become entangled, when one changes, that changes the other particle instantaneously, no matter where the two particles are in the universe. So that basically allows for instantaneous communication across like vast distances in space. So, you know, it makes sense that they plan to establish contact with the Milky Way galaxy within like a reasonable time frame. They would use the quantum entanglement communications to communicate instantly. And, you know, they should have had a response by now, especially if they did use the instantaneous communication. Because, you know, if they communicate with just regular radio waves, radio signals, there's no way they're waiting 2.5 million years for a response. And they wouldn't like announce that they're not getting any responses at all if it's going to take 2.5 million years. So they definitely have some means of fast and light communications, but they're not getting any responses, which suggests that the species in the Milky Way galaxy, this takes place 600 years after Mass Effect 2, or Mass Effect 3 actually, as a reminder. This suggests that the actual canon ending was the one where everybody lost and the Reapers wiped out all the species. Because a new species is not going to develop again within 600 years to be able to respond to the messages from the Andromeda galaxy. So the fact that they're not getting any responses at all, it really does hint at the rejection ending being the canon ending. And you know, that rejection ending was specifically added in the extended cut DLC for Mass Effect 3. So, you know, who knows? Maybe that was how Mass Effect 3 ended. But you know, this is not like 100% confirmation, but it is heavily hinting at everybody losing at the end of Mass Effect 3. So I don't know if it's the case, but you know, it doesn't matter like destroy, control, or synthesis. It seems like none of those were the canon endings, and really everybody was wiped out. There's no more Citadel races in the Milky Way galaxy. It'll take like thousands of years for like another advanced race to rise up again for the next cycle against the Reapers. But you know, I mean, you know, take what you will. I'd like to hear your thoughts actually about this. It makes me like really curious what you guys think. If you guys think this little piece of evidence in Mass Effect Andromeda confirms, or at least suggests, that everybody lost in the Milky Way galaxy. Because, I mean, even if like the communications technologies were badly damaged, 600 years is enough time for them to recover and rebuild everything. So they should have been able to reestablish contact by now on either side. But the fact that it hasn't happened, yeah, I don't know, suggests that something really bad must have happened. But yeah, so there you guys have it. A little piece of evidence in Mass Effect Andromeda that's very rare to come across. But anyways, I'd like to hear what you guys think. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else you need to check out or look into, any game, you know, whatever, just let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to check it out. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.